Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, just exiting the wonderful movie theater. Um, Interesting film I saw just now. Christmas versus the Walters. Cast many familiar faces in this movie. Uh, I believe it's not Chris Farley, obviously. I think it's his brother was in it. Uh, Farley has a brother that if you've ever heard his voice, he sounds very much like his brother Chris Farley. And what else? So Christmas versus the Walters. Shawnee Smith is the female lead, the central character, the mom. What is this movie about? It's kind of an ensemble piece of a family that's growing and having arguments, and there's some history of dysfunction with these two sisters and their mother and their father, and all these things. Spoilers. So I was not really knowing what to expect when I signed on to see this movie. I came to the theater, it was playing. Somehow it's a Fathom special event. I'm also going to discuss Spencer, film that I saw recently too. About this Christmas versus the Walters, I'd say it's worth watching. Uh, Normally I press people to see the movies in the theater, but this movie kind of would play well enough on television, to be honest with you. It's not a movie that, God, everything's such a pain. It's not a movie that you necessarily need the biggest screen or the biggest um, presentation as far as audio goes. You know, it's a fine movie to see at home, which I normally don't say. I always encourage people to go to the theaters, but knowing this is the Christmas season and some people want to watch a movie at home and all that crap. Uh, what else? But is the movie worth seeing? I'd say so. I mean, I don't think you need to go out and rush out and see it. Where does this? I mean, there's even a. It's a PG-13 movie, which is kind of interesting. I think that's really just based on some swearing. Uh, there's really no violence or anything mature in this movie, just some swearing, and it's not that bad. But that did warrant the PG-13 rating. Eh, it's a good movie. I mean, it's Shawnee Smith is likable enough. I mean, this movie does raise some issues. Those are kind of like the dynamics of family. Uh, and to get specific, women can't get along with each other. Anyone that's lived with more than one woman at a time can tell you there's always a power struggle, a power dynamic. If you have a mother and a daughter living under the same roof, if you have a mother and God forbid two, mother and two sisters, like two daughters or more, and this presentation, you kind of have a mother. That's the Shawnee Smith character. Her daughter, who's a 15-year-old, very good young actress, Paris Bravo, I think was her name. She had a big part as the young teenage daughter. And then you had the mom, who was a familiar actress, but I can't place who she was. But whenever you have these female dynamics kind of dominating the household, then what typically happens is the men look for escape. Now, in this house, this family in this film, the husband the actor was the guy on Oz. Now, if you ever watched the TV show Oz on HBO, whenever I see this guy, he was also, I think, the progressive commercials, like the automobile insurance commercials. He's a really good actor, but to me, like the his career peaked with Oz all those years ago, and ever since, every time I see him on anything else, I just think of fucking Oz. I just think of the Oz guy. Sorry, I know that as an acting coach myself, I'm not supposed to put these actors in little boxes like that, but I mean, I just think of him as the Oz guy, to tell you the truth. And he's a good actor. He's powerful, but um, he just like his voice is like, I just think he's going to kill somebody. You know, anytime he's in a movie, he just has that. I just reminds me of Oz. That's all. And so to see him as like the fucking Michael Keaton role in this thing, or the Tom Hanks role as the dad, so you know, it's just tough for me. But I mean, most people probably never saw Oz at this point, the TV show, so they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. What else? The sister role, and that, I mean, there's some good storylines here, some good subtext. So I mean, some of the subtext is like, when you have one daughter who's kind of dominant, and she's got like the traditional shit, like the family, the husband, the two kids, and that the nice suburban house and all that crap. And then the other sister is kind of like, she goes the other way. She does her own thing. She's not married, you know, she's a workaholic. She's traveling. She cares about her fucking nephew and niece, but mostly the niece. And she stops by when she can, but she doesn't really know her place in her sister's life. You know, like her sister doesn't really want, the sister with the kids doesn't want the other sister to interfere too much. And there's the power dynamics, and of course the niece seeks out her cool aunt for talking and for all that stuff. So in any event, it's an interesting setup. You know, it's good. Uh, so you can kind of relate to these things, the power dynamics, and like I said, in a house or a household that's dominated by women, the men tend to seek escape. You know, from my experience, like if you have a house that women dominate, like daughters and mothers and sisters and all this shit, the men either become feminized or they withdraw. And in this movie, there's a child, a boy's son. I'm not sure how old he's supposed to be, 8 or 9 or something. And he just kind of sits there and doesn't really have much of a character in this movie. Just, you know, just he's there. Um, but the father, you know, seeks his fame and fortune on the road, and then he has to come to a conclusion. Is he going to be the corporate stooge who's climbing the corporate ladder, or is he going to stay at home with his family? And the woman's pregnant in this film. I mean, spoilers. I said spoilers, didn't I? The woman's pregnant, and the mom, you know, the Shawnee Smith character, I can't remember the names, and she's pregnant, and you know, the doctor, who's played by Chris Elliott, that was pretty interesting. Chris Elliott playing kind of a creepy dog. Like, he's not creepy, but he's a little too familiar. Like, he's just a little too touchy feely with the pregnant lady. Like, there's some type of weird subtext with Shawnee Smith's character and Chris Elliott, of the daughter and this woman, that they're a little bit too close for comfort as far as the doctor pregnant lady situation. And the doctor seems to have these inner conflicts himself. He's a doctor, yet he's a single bachelor. He has no life. You know, you might remember Get a Life, Chris Elliott. So interesting stuff. Maybe that's just the way the actors played it. I was going to say that I can watch this film. I mean, you have some real career professional actors in this thing. You know, people that you know. They're not the biggest stars right now, but they've all had great careers. And but you can kind of, I could kind of tell when they're like ad-libbing a bit, like when there's some improv stuff going on. I could tell that there was a lot of ad-libbing allowed. It's interesting that the director, I think a writer director, if he did both, Peter D'Amato, I'm not too familiar with him. In fact, I'm not familiar with him at all. Although I did know a D'Amato from Rhode Island years ago, 3 D'Amato brothers. I don't think this is one. Maybe it was. Congratulations if he's watching. But he was also listed as the animal supervisor, I believe, if I don't have that wrong, which I could. I mean, it's I just watched the credits once. I'm not sitting here with the IMDb all written up. But you know, it's a good movie. It's pleasant. You know, it passes the time. There's some good elements there, some things that make you think. I mean, I think you have to be an intellectual and process these relationships, and you know, but this is very much a slice of life type of movie. Um, you know, if you're in that situation with a big household and different people, and you know, family is an interesting thing because it's the individual always seeks, you know, their own thing. What does the person want? But then these families are shoved together, and then you're kind of just born with these other assholes in your life, and you have to deal with them, and their concerns become your concerns, and your concerns become their concerns, everybody's trying to run each other's life. And I think the movie here, this Christmas versus the Walters, gets to that dynamic of, this woman that's center of all the attention, who's having kids, and she's got her mother, and you know what I mean. She likes being in control. She likes being in charge. And for instance, her and her daughter have a big power struggle with that, and her and her sister. And then you find out about halfway through the movie, oh boy, there's something from her past. Something happened, tragic. I guess I won't give that away. Something happened tragic that leads to her being a control freak, and leads to her, the old dual-sided coin of power and vulnerability, two sides to the same coin. In other events, so what will I say about this movie? I would say I'm curious why it was a Fathom special event. I mean, from what I understood, what I enjoyed, I didn't really get like anything bonus from being in the theater. Like there was no special thing as a Fathom special event. I guess this Fathom special event now, it's a little bit loose in the jurisdiction of what constitutes a special event. I just saw this as being a movie, but I paid extra to see it as a special fucking event. What else? In other news, you can feel free to leave a comment if you like. You don't have to. It's just an option. As far as this other movie I saw yesterday, Spencer. So what do I say about wrapping up with Christmas versus the Walters? I give it a thumbs up. I say it's fine. I mean, I think you could see Christmas versus the Walters on TV and it'd be the same. Like it's not a movie that dictates you see it on the big screen. In fact, it might play better at home when you can sit around with your family and watch this family on the television, and everyone watches and has a good time. And it's a good time. It's early November. It's November 5th, and this Christmas movie's out. Good timing. So I do say that Christmas versus the Walters is a good movie. I wouldn't say it's great. I'd say it's good. There is kind of a tip of the hat to the Griswolds. There's a mention of someone named Giswold at the end of the movie. So it's a little tip of the hat to the Vacation family, Chevy Chase and so forth. Moving on now to Spencer. I saw that movie. Chungus Khan. Yeah, that's what I just saw now, buddy. Chungus had some good thoughts yesterday on one of my live streams. Thanks, Chungus. I think I saw your comments. Christmas versus the Walters. Yes, I just saw it, and it's worth seeing. I saw it for some reason. It was an upcharge because it's a Fathom special event. I didn't quite get that. It just seemed like a movie, Chungus, but what the hell. What's next? So Spencer. Now here's a movie. I'm going to admit something. I find this. I had just read, an article. I actually read something online, not in print media, but on the internet. What's her name? Kristen. What's her name? The girl, Kristen Stewart from Twilight and from the rebooted Charlie's Angels about 2 years ago. I find her quite good as an actress. Like she's kind of become one of my favorite actresses. I think she's a real dynamite character. I think a person or actress. I think she's great, and I just think she's someone who's handling stardom correctly. She's handling herself well. Apparently she's getting married to her girlfriend, which means that she's off the market. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But I just think she's really cool. I think she's a great, piece of dynamite there as far as like a real actress who's good. So here's probably her biggest challenge. I mean, she's kind of doing the Natalie Portman as Mrs. Kennedy thing, and she's playing Diana Spencer. The Princess Diana, Candle in the Wind. You know what I mean? And look, I've been on record. I don't have much interest or, to be honest, much respect for the royal family. I just think it's silly. I mean, I don't fucking believe in unicorns either. So, you know what I mean? I mean, the royal family. Okay, I'll get my tea and fucking crumpets. Sorry for all my international subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube fans, but I just think that if I go to England, I mean, just sitting there with a fucking big thing on my head and holding a spear and standing outside the royal family. Yeah, I believe that, buddy. I mean, look, I had nothing against Princess Diana, Meghan McCarkle, all these people, but it's just when you see Meghan McCarkle, if that's her name, she's talking with Oprah. It's like you kind of get what Princess Diana was going through. I mean, you're basically, this is like, be careful what you wish for, because not every girl's fantasy, but a lot of girls' fantasy is, oh, I want to be a princess, and I want everyone to watch me get married at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I want to marry one of these Prince Harrys or Prince Williams. And then you fucking get into this goddamn weird family, and there's the inbreeding, and then your whole life is scheduled, and you're dealing with the press and the paparazzi. And I guess, like, I did watch that Oprah interview with William, right? Was it William and Meghan? Uh, and that was his mom. Princess Diana was his mom. So, I mean, you feel bad because she was killed. From the way I understand the story, Chungus, explain to me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she more or less killed escaping from the paparazzi down a tunnel in like a limousine or some such thing? And the goddamn paparazzi are chasing this poor lady, and that's even after she was divorced. Prince Charles, you know what I mean? And so you see Kristen Stewart embodying this character. I'm guessing it's 4 or 5 years before the death. Chungus says, shit, that Japanese princess renounced her royal status to marry a commoner just recently. That's news to me, buddy. I mean, I saw what's his dick and what's her name, Meghan and William flew to Canada, and now they're doing Oprah specials, but I know about this Japanese princess. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think that people are kind of wising up, like watching this movie, and seeing, I thought Kristen Stewart did great, first of all, but I do feel like I'm just watching Kristen Stewart. Like, she doesn't look a whole lot like Diana, which is fine. I mean, I don't know who you'd get to look like Diana. Diana had a very unique look. Like, she wasn't traditionally pretty. I mean, she kind of was, but she kind of had like her own unique thing. And Kristen Stewart, to me, is a more classic waif gorgeousness. So she dyed her hair blonde. She did what she could, but there's no way to really have Kristen Stewart look like Diana. You just have to kind of go with it. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't give her a nose job. I mean, Diana had a very interesting nose, of kind of an interesting face, and Kristen Stewart, to me, it's just her face is more classic waif, runway model from the 90s, like Kate Moss type of thing, which is great. But I mean, it's a different type of look. So she doesn't look like Diana, but I thought she did a really nice job of embodying the spirit. And I did kind of wonder, watching this movie, was a lot of this stuff made up? Like, how much of this movie, this Princess Diana film, Spencer, was just someone's fucking imagination? I don't know. I don't know if Diana kept a journal, a diary. I mean, that's something that princesses would do, right? They keep a journal or a diary of all their intimate thoughts. I really don't know, but I'm just kind of wondering, because this movie takes some creative license, how much was creative license and how much is based in some type of reality? And does it even matter? What's Chungus saying here? Yes, sir. A blue Mercedes S600 limo, tough, strong car, crumpled like a soda can. Princess died, quote, running from the paparazzi, quote, although conspiracy theorists say the driver was hired to kill her. Now, did the driver also get killed, I would ask? You tell me, Chungus, because I don't remember. I think that was 1995 that happened. Tragedy. And like I said, Elton John kind of remastered his, variation on a theme of his Candle in the Wind song for Goodbye English Rose, blah, blah, blah. And tragedy. So I'm watching this fucking movie, and I'm really kind of getting into it, to be honest with you, because Kristen Stewart is just I think she's talented, man. And she's in there, and she's playing the mother to these two sons, and that's where, neither do I, buddy. She's playing the mother to these two sons. Now, we know what's going to happen. We know that William and Harry are going to grow up, and I believe it's the younger one, William, right, that has left the royal circles with his bride, with his Meghan. And Harry is the one that's in all these accusations of being one of the creeps with the young girls on the pedophile island, right? So with Epstein, and you get the photograph of him with the young girl, the teenage girl, and he's like, "Oh, that's not me," or he's like, "Oh, no," he said, "Oh, well, that's me, but I wasn't there." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I mean, with all this CGI, Yeah, Harry, right. Which one's the older one? The one that was on Epstein Island. Isn't that Prince Harry? Chungus, Harry's the older one and William's the younger one, right? Or do I have that reversed? I have dyslexia at times, but Prince Harry's the older one, correct? And wasn't he the one on Pedophile Island with Epstein and the young girl, the young girl in the photograph, and what's her name? The fucking what's her twat? The fucking Maxine taking the photograph of him with the young blonde girl and all the accusations, and he's just saying, "Well, that's me, but I wasn't there. I don't know how that photograph came to be." Well, maybe because you were there on Pedophile Island. You know what I mean? Harry's younger, methinks. Then there's the older bro. Oh, William. Well, sorry, fucking Harry. I guess I thought William. I don't know what the fuck I thought. I guess I got the names flipped. Uh, so William was the goddamn one on Pedophile Island with fucking Epstein and all that shit. Maxine. I saw Maxine's brother on the news. Basically, he's saying that his sister's not getting treated well in prison. Maybe that's because it's prison, and that they're waking her up every 15 minutes for suicide watch. Yes, correct. Whatever her name is, Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever happened to her, she's in prison. I thought she got locked up. She is. I mean, let's put it this way. She's awaiting trial, I believe. I could be wrong, Chungus, but I believe she's in prison on suicide watch. And her brother's concerned because he's saying they're not letting her get sleep. And that I do believe this, though. She deserves a fair trial like everybody else. And if they're torturing her by not letting her sleep at night because they're waking her up every 15 minutes for the suicide watch, that would be, to me, that seems like a hell. And you know what I mean? I think that especially everybody deserves a fair trial. Presumed guilty, presumed innocent. We're supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. So I do think it's bullshit if they're waking her up every 15 minutes. You can hate her as much as you want, but and the justification is, well, Epstein committed suicide, so now we got to keep a close watch on her. And the point is, and I think Chungus is getting there too, locked up and on suicide watch, just like Epstein. Well, right. But the point is, we saw what happened to Epstein. Even though he was on supposed suicide watch, he committed supposed suicide, which we all pretty much agree was a hit. You know what I mean? Just you can't fool the common person anymore. I mean, that's why when this whole Brian Laundrie thing happened, 2 months ago or a month ago, they're telling us, oh, well, he just got a lawyer for whatever the fuck reasons. Yeah, dead on arrival, exactly. Brian Laundrie just got a fucking lawyer just in case, but he didn't do anything. And even people in the news are like, well, that's interesting. He got a fucking lawyer. He got a defense lawyer. Yeah, because he killed his fucking girlfriend. And the common asshole is just sitting there saying, why aren't the cops watching this fuck? And why they let him escape? And the North fucking County cops or whatever the fuck in Florida, oh, well, we don't fucking know. So, I mean, just the common person's getting a little sick of all the goddamn bullshit. And just, all these fucking lies that they say. Oh, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. Okay, the common asshole on Twitter knows that it's bullshit, okay? So, I mean, fuck. It's just stop trying to send us these fucking lies. I'll tell you another thing, buddy. Thanks, Chungus. They're telling us, oh, yeah, Chris Cornell committed suicide. I don't fucking buy that for a goddamn second. I mean, the guy just performed his fucking band. I believe it was Soundgarden, reunited. I believe it was Soundgarden, not Audio Slave, but in either fucking event, there's concert footage of this guy having a fucking good concert, enjoying himself. He's got a wife, and I think he had 1 or 2 kids, for Christ's sake. Now they're trying to put me out of here. God, hold on. Oh, for Christ's sake. I'm back. So they're, you know what I mean? Do I really think that fucking Chris Cornell, he's got a beautiful wife. I believe he had 1 or 2 kids. And he just played a fucking concert. And what's he going to do to celebrate his concert? Kill himself. Right. Yeah, that fucking happened. So all this goddamn bullshit is goddamn bullshit. And just the regular asshole is just smart enough to see through the fucking shit. So you know what I mean? So now with this Princess Diana thing, did this fucking guy who's driving the limo, thanks buddy, did this fucking guy who's driving this goddamn limo, did he set up fucking Princess Diana? I don't know. The movie doesn't go there. It does a lot in the movie to have, look, I'm sitting in this fucking movie theater and I'm feeling sympathy for this fucking Princess Diana. Like, I'm feeling shit. I'm glad I don't live with these freaks. And that's the, I mean, I guess that's the point of the film, because we all put these royal fucks on a pedestal, and then you see a goddamn movie, you're like this, and you're like, I don't want to live with these fucking weird British fucks with their bad teeth and their fucking inbreeding. You know what I mean? Fuck them. Yeah, I just, and they're eating all this goddamn food, and they're sewing up the curtains so Diana can't look out the fucking curtains. And they have all these fucking people that are there to, they're hired to wipe their ass and clip their toenails and all this other shit. And it's like, I don't want to be with these fucking weirdos. You know what I mean? And then you go back to this other movie and you see, like, even this domestic situation with this dominated family in this fucking movie. This Christmas versus the Walters, it really makes you not want to be around people at all. You know, like, you just kind of get to that point in life, and maybe it's just me, where you're just looking around and you're like, the more people that I have to deal with on a daily basis, the less happy that I am. It's nice to see people, but then just leave. You don't want to be fucking around them. You know what I mean? Yeah, tea and fucking crumpets. I've mentioned this before in other videos where I've criticized the royal family in England or the UK. I never get that straight. What is Britain? What is UK? And what is England? Make up your fucking mind. What the fuck are you? I've made these goddamn points before, that you believe in fucking fairy tales. You believe in a fucking royal family. Where's your unicorn? Where's your leprechaun? And the English people don't like when I say that, because they say, well, you guys believe in Kim Kardashian's ass. Point well fucking taken. But at least it's not official. At least we have the choice whether to put these fucking idiot reality fucks on a pedestal. You know what I mean? With these British people, it's like, oh, well, they're born into the royal family. Yeah, okay, racist inbred fucks. Okay, that's what I think. Any goddamn way. But then you see this fucking movie about regular people, this Christmas versus the Walters, and you fucking hate them too, because they're just a feminine, female dominated fucking household. The guy runs off to go to work in fucking Texas just to get a fucking breather. And the kid is growing up like a feminized fuck, because he's got all these women dominating him. So what the goddamn fuck? It just is what it fucking is. I mean, at some point you realize, okay, I'm alone. I'm fucking lonely. I feel good when I compare myself to people that have these interpersonal relationships with other people. Because it's like, it's not worth it. I can't think for myself when all these assholes around me. I get upset when I'm driving my vehicle and there's a car behind me and I see their fucking lights on their car. And I can just tell that some assholes in their car wanting me to hurry up. I can feel their fucking presence breathing down my goddamn neck. And I just want to fucking tell them, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? I'll drive at the fucking pace that I want. Go fuck off. All right, so that's it. So it's a Friday afternoon. Uh, if you happen to be in Jacksonville, Florida, Avalonia Festival 6 tomorrow will be taking place. I mean, and I will be doing all types of wonderful things. I did some interesting things today that I normally don't do. An individual was asking me questions, about my fucking career, which is nice. He's saying, what's next? And I'm saying, well, I got a movie coming out December 3rd. I got my film festival tomorrow. Then he goes away and he comes back and he says, well, what's next for you? I just told you, asshole. I'm doing all these wonderful goddamn things. How much do you want me to do? Anyway, A Distance from Avalon, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. That's on Amazon. My book, screenplay, stage play. I do get upset when I see these fucking movies and I know that my scripts are better. So that always riles me up. All right, gentlemen. Chungus, nice having you here, buddy. It's Friday. We have the whole weekend to fuck up. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Good movies.